Hi, hello everybody. So, as we are getting further and further into Destiny Rising, there are going to be fewer things that we're going to have to explore and work through, like the chapter system and like the campaigns. Once we are all wrapped up with that, the main thing that we will be doing is our dailies as well as spending our pinnacle energy. Our daily objectives and weekly objectives will be a large recurring source of resources as well as Lumia leaves going forward in this game. So starting out with probably one of the most important daily objectives, we have our high value bounties. Now, both the bounties and the pinnacle energy will stock up to 3 days worth. So if you miss 1 or 2 days, if you have already cleaned everything out, then you can log back in on the 3rd day and then perform and claim everything. We have 2 types of bounties. We have high value bounties, which are daily and provide the majority of the rewards, including XP and Lumia leaves, 60 Lumia leaves total, and 4,800 XP total. And we then have the common bounties, which largely don't give as many rewards. It gives 1 bounty rep as well as 1,400 glimmer. So very, very minor, and you don't really have to concern yourselves with them too much. However, if I move my camera to the left here to showcase the weekly progress objectives, completing 20 bounties across the entire week, and that is high value bounties and common bounties, will give you exotic parameters, 10 in total, so that is 1/3 of an exotic focusing engram of a random one, and 1/4 of a selection of an exotic that you already own, and you also have a chance to get an exotic or 4 exotic parameters. So performing your bounties will help you a lot when it comes to earning exotics. Additionally, you will earn frontline key codes for these bounties, and these frontline key codes can then be used at any time during the week at either destination, the Jiangxi Metro or the Red Sea Rift. There will be a featured location each day, and you'll be able to see the front lines for the area, and you'll be able to claim the rewards by using the keys, which will give you a large sum of mods, as well as some enhancement prisms and reputation for the area. The mod rewards will largely be the same, so you pretty much just pick the destination based on whichever one you would want to get more reputation in. So for instance, right now, the Red Sea Rift, you will probably be much lower in reputation due to how new the area is. Beyond that, when it comes to the bounties, you also have the bounty reputation. Now, each of the daily bounties will give 4, and each of the common bounties will give 1. And I'm going to state that the common bounties are not infinite. You just have a lot of them. You can grind them out if you really desire. However, the only thing you will be getting by grinding out the common bounties is marginal amounts of glimmer and cosmetic engrams for the current season, or in this case, the upcoming season for Season of Daybreak, because we are currently in Season 0. And up here on the bounty menu, you can also see when the daily refresh is coming next. You can also click the pinnacle energy to also show exactly when the daily reset will be for your server and your local time zone. After that, the next source of dailies we have are the daily quests at either destination. To activate your daily quest, you'll venture to the destination, and then you'll go to the reputation rewards character for the region. You will walk up to them, talk to them, and you'll click accept commission, and that will activate the daily commissions for the area. It will then give you a series of quests, and each of these quests will give you some weapons, some leveling materials, some glimmer, and a large bonus to your reputation. Additionally, clearing these daily quests will also give your current character, the one that you're playing, a bonus to their proficiency. So as you can see here, I have my Tan2 at 53 proficiency. So if I select him and then go to do the daily quest, and now that I've completed the daily quest, I can look at my Tan2, and you'll see it's now at 58. So it will give 5 proficiency per daily quest completion. So if you have some characters that you don't necessarily want to take into other activities to spend your pinnacle energy on, you can use them to complete daily quests, and that will give you marginal increases to their proficiency. And for those of you who do not know, character proficiency is necessary in order to progress through their given storylines, and they will also give you cosmetic rewards. The next daily you will have access to are the cats in Haven. So I have gotten a lot of questions regularly about how to find the cats. So if you are not in a story mode, so if you are not in a story mission, the cats will be appearing at regular places in Haven. They won't always be in the same places. However, if you walk around, you will see on the minimap there will be a cat icon. It'll have a circular sort of formation, but you'll be able to see them right there. And if I move around the area, you will probably also be able to see them in other locations. Again, the spots where the cats are will change on a daily basis, so you will have to look around. The first thing you will have to do your cat dailies will be pet them. It will then tell you what type of fish that the cat wants. It will sometimes say that it wants a certain color of fish, or it will want like a certain shape or size of fish. In this case, it said that it wanted a fish that is exclusive to the Jiangxi metro area. Now, you may have some trouble figuring out exactly what that may mean. However, there is a very easy way to determine that. So if you go to the map on the Jiangxi metro, you'll be able to see a fishing spot there. So currently I only have access to the old warehouse fishing spot because I am still only beginner rank in fishing, but you can see the possible fish that you're able to get there. However, there are fish that are in the Jiangxi metro that are also in other locations. So you'll want to see the old warehouse right here, and you will also see Daredevil's Cave over there, which is another fishing spot, and there will also be the Lanyue 5 factory. Now, you will then want to go to your profile. You'll then go to archives, and then you'll see fish. Now, you'll be able to see here, it will tell you exactly where the fish will be located. So it'll say Old Warehouse, Lanyue Factory, and Daredevil's Cave. So this would fit that specification for the cat's reward. You could also use the Lotus Black Goldfish, because it's all the same locations in the Red Sea Rift. However, if you want to use a lower rarity fish, because it will give you the same rewards regardless, you can use the Another Herring, because it would be the Old Warehouse, Lanyue Factory, or Devil's Cave location. And there will be fish like this for each of the destinations. So for instance, if it said it wanted a fish exclusive to Haven, you could use Another Carp, because you can only fish this up in Haven through the Nevia Memorial Pond. So now that I know what fish I want to feed the cat, being the Another Herring, I would then feed the cat, and I'll say the cat is pleased with the fish you brought, and it'll give you a cat's thank you gift, which will be another reward and the same way that you would get from petting the cat. And you can see here, it gives you a chance at angler tokens, Lumia leaves, and standard banner pulls. So this is very, very valuable. You will likely get angler tokens most of the time. However, any chance at getting these will be great. I have already received Lumia leaves multiple times. And you can see right there, I just got another Lumia leaf. So, perfect example for the video. Thank you very much, Destiny Rising, for listening to me. Now, that is likely going to be the last thing you will want for a daily ritual. However, it's not the last thing that will expire on a daily basis. If you go to the activities menu, most activities you will be able to farm infinitely. However, when it comes to the casual playlists, the Sparrow Racing, Shadow Shaper duels, and Iron Bar will only give you so many claims per day. And the Shadow Shaper duels are a bit more important to that because it's the only source of duelist tokens. And this is the main way you will be able to get more cards for your Shadow Shaper duel decks by taking them to Wu Ming, who does not appear to be right here today. And he appears to be over in the plaza, so I will fast travel over there. And you can see the card vendor, and he will show all of the cards that are available for purchase. And as you can see, some of these can get rather expensive. All of these cards this week would cost around 300 tokens, and you will only be able to earn 50 tokens a day through Shadow Shaper duels because you'll only get 5 reward claims. So winning or tying them will actually be rather necessary in order to progress further with your Shadow Shaper duel decks. It will also give you mythic weapon rewards and mythic parameters as well as Bright Dust. So it's good to go for those. The same rewards go for the Sparrow Racing, as you will only get so many reward claims that day, and also for the Iron Bar while it's available on the weekends. Also, while we are in the casual menu, I will mention the weekly activeness score. Every single day you will have an opportunity to earn casual activeness by participating in any and every single one of the modes, up to a certain cap per mode. And acquiring casual activeness will give you overclocked capacitors and bright dust. Overclocked capacitors allow you to use double the amount of pinnacle energy for a claim on a particular activity, so it can speed up your grind a little bit further if you complete these objectives every single week. And also, who doesn't want more bright dust for cosmetics? So be sure and do those. Additionally, there are NPCs around. Additionally, the NPCs that you are able to duel, such as Wu Ming and other characters around Haven and the other destinations like the Jiangxi Metro, you will have daily high value reward claims. And this will give you Duelist XP 120 for the 3 daily high values, and then 60 for the 7 basic daily rewards. Dueling these NPCs on a regular basis will also help you raise your duelist rank and also increase the amount of NPCs that you are able to fight in order to progress through the Shadow Shaper duel card progression. Now, past the Pinnacle Energy, that is the last daily reward that we have available right now. However, once we reach level 71 and unlock the Black Market, you will then be able to talk to Wu Ming every single day, and he will give you a daily Black Market reward. It'll be Black Market reputation and Black Market coins. This is information from the beta. However, a lot has stayed the same from the beta, and I would not expect this to be any different. If we reach level 71 and you go to Wu Ming for a daily reward and it's not there, then you can just ignore this part of the video. Now, this doesn't technically count as a daily, however, you only have a certain amount of purchase attempts for the Iron Commander, and this will allow you to not only store some Pinnacle Energy and keep it as another form of reserves. However, the Iron Commander will also give you extra resources for the activities that you will spend the Pinnacle Energy on, and you will get a total of 3 purchase attempts every single day once we unlock the Acclaim system after the campaign is completed. If the team you dispatch is able to significantly outlevel the content that you are putting them out to, you will gain a 10% reward bonus. And this is a 10% for all of the rewards except for XP and Bright Dust. And this also includes the exotics, and it's not a 10% increase for a chance, it is a 10% increase for a bonus chance of an exotic. So this gives you chances for even more exotics than prior. And if we take a look at the random rewards, you will see you will gain more mythics, you will gain more mythic parameters, you will gain more mods, and you will gain more prisms and mod components. So you should be utilizing the Iron Commander system. In order to do so, you'll have to have completed the activity that you're sending your units out for, and they will have to have energy. Units will be granted 1 energy per day, so having a larger roster of units that have higher power will benefit you in this factor. However, you only need to have it up to a certain point. Any character that has the green check mark to the top left of their screen will be eligible for the maximum dispatch rewards. So if you have a full team of green check marks, you will be able to get the 10% bonus. And this can be especially good for the Morgren's Prey if you need the resources here, because it will give you that 10% increase. And since this is a way to spend your Pinnacle Energy, you can also use this to speed up your daily expenditures as well, if that entices you. Having 9 characters that will be able to reach the Abundant Rewards tier will allow you to spend all 3 of them for that 10% increase every single day. Now, I will state, do not level up characters for this if it will come at the cost of your main character's progress. You will always want to level up your main characters for endgame purposes first, and then you may level up the other characters in your cast. However, when it comes to a lot of these units, you will not need to level them up very far in order to reach the abundant reward thresholds. For instance, my Xuanwei right here, he is only at relic level 9 and only has the very basic upgrades for his talents and weapon mastery. He is using the same artifacts that I put on my other characters, so you'll be able to gain an exceptional amount of power by sharing these resources from your main units if you are only using them for the Iron Commander. And additionally, the early enhancement levels will also give you large increases in power for very marginal cost of enhancement prisms, especially compared to the increasing cost per level. There are some very easy to hit minimal investment requirements for the Iron Commander. Now, bridging the gap between daily and weekly stuff, you will have the pack menu. Now, for the pack challenges, you will have a daily limit and a weekly limit for these objectives. For instance, log into the game, you can only complete this objective once per day. Completing any team-based activity in a fire team with pack members, you will be able to complete it once per day for a total of 5 times per week. taking part in a pack hunt, you can complete 3 times per day, 5 times per week. Spending pinnacle energy, you will be able to do at any day during the week. The daily limit is the same as the weekly limit. Visiting the practice range and purchasing any item in the pack shop will also be a weekly single objective. And completing your weekly pack challenges will give you great rewards. For one, it will increase the reputation of your pack. It will give you more SPI coins, which you'll be able to spend in the pack shop. It will give you black market coins, which are extremely valuable, and it will give you Lumia leaves and your pack some PBO fibers, which are necessary for the higher levels. You will only be able to have 20 action points at a time. However, action points will also carry over per week. So if you have action points left over and you have completed all of your weekly pack hunt progress here, it may be a good idea to save them for the next week. Now, each of these pack hunt objectives you will largely be completing alongside all of your other pack members. They will be giving Bright Dust, Black Market coins, and Mythic weapon parameters. Completing the large strongholds will also give you the largest amount of Mythic parameter and Black Market coin rewards, so pursuing these will be a good objective for you and your team. Putting your best players on completing these boss tiles will be the most efficient way to spend their action points, so that you can obtain as many of the weekly rewards as you possibly can. And obviously, the final daily objective that you will likely be doing is spending your pinnacle energy, or at least spending it up to a point to where you wouldn't overcap tomorrow. The maximum you will want to end off a day at is 240, because the next day it will give you 120 more and put you at the cap of 360. And that is the final daily objective in Destiny Rising. Now, there are weekly objectives as well. The first one is obviously the bounties. I covered these before. However, there are also other locations. For instance, if we go to the store in the exchange, you will see that there are weekly limits on a lot of these rewards. For the shifting gates, you do not have to worry about the weekly limits of these, because you'll have to spend your pinnacle energy in order to get the translation credits, and a lot of these are available from other sources. Now, when it comes to the wolf packs, you will have weekly limits of all of these rewards. My best advice is to spend your SPI tokens on what you need. However, there isn't really much use in stockpiling them, but you will want to make sure that you always collect the incandescent clusters every single month, because these are the most valuable things that you will get from the pack shop. Additionally, there will be a weekly limit for the amount of bait that you're able to obtain based on your level, so getting as much bait as you possibly can, because every single bait is more angler tokens, and it will always give you a better return, or at least the same return, if you catch a fish with them. And the fishing rods also have a weekly limit, and the artifact XP and damage buff foods will also have a weekly limit. The shader has a total limit of 2, so these do not reset at least on a weekly or regular basis. If you're spending your pinnacle energy on Singularity Chaos and you've already completed the entire Paraverse and you're just stacking strange coins, you can also turn in the strange coins here for some Glimmer. Now, that's all the shops that are available to you on the menu. However, there are other weekly shops that you will have to go to the different destinations for. Starting off with the Jiangxi Metro. Now, both of these shops, you will be using the resources that you collect around destination. For the Jiangxi Metro, it will be the Ether Lotuses, and you can just claim one right there. And if you talk to the vendor, you'll be able to go to the Specialty Exchange. The Jiangxi Metro vendor will give you the option to purchase weapon enhancement prisms. So you'll be able to purchase a maximum of 25 each per week. And since this is basically just free resources, as long as you are collecting the Ether Lotuses while you're in patrol, such as doing your daily quests, you will be able to get regular resources. However, you can also grind for these, because again, this is a weekly lockout, and it is a pretty decent return on time investment considering how quickly you can stack all of these up, and how low effort it is. Going over to the Red Sea Rift area, you'll have access to some better weekly rewards there, because if we visit Ahmed the Tinkerer, and the resource that you'll be collecting is Red Sea Gel, but we go to the Specialty Exchange shop, and you will have the option to purchase incandescent tufts and heaps of artifactual dust. This is XP material for artifacts, and this is level up materials for your units. Now, you will be wanting a lot of these if you are planning on upgrading a large amount of your cast. So, collecting as many of these as you possibly can, especially on a weekly basis, will be very good for your account, and it will always be good to have more resources than it will be to not have resources. So you'll be able to exchange them all, and you will also be able to exchange for more of them as soon as you reach team level 70. You will also be able to purchase Glimmer here as well, so that is more that you can obtain. One important weekly objective is the Battle Pass. Now, it's not quite a weekly lockout as a lot of the other objectives may be. Instead, the Battle Pass will raise the XP cap, and this is increasing the total amount of XP that you will be able to obtain just by playing through the game. Now, doing any activity will give you Battle Pass XP. As long as you are playing the game on a regular basis, you will largely be able to hit these XP caps and level up your Battle Pass. Now, since there's no limit to the amount of XP that you can earn per week, you can let these stack up and grind them out later if you desire. There are also the Act quests, and these will not contribute to the weekly XP cap, so you can feel free to complete and turn in these quests whenever you please. Alright, the final thing for the week will be the weekly bonus of 10 Lumia Leaves, and you will be notified for this every single time you log in on the first day of the week. So that is, I believe, the last thing to mention, at least when it comes to the stuff that we have access to currently. Now, when we reach the end game, there will be one other weekly resource that you are able to obtain, and if we go to the Hero's Vault, I will be able to showcase exactly what I'm talking about. You will have access to the Challenger's Keys, and you will be granted 2 at the start of the week, and you will be able to spend them in Master and Grandmaster content in order to get high tier mod rewards. You will be able to store up to 12, so there is a very high cap. However, you will probably be spending them as soon as you get them in order to gear your characters better. Now, you will have the option to purchase these every single week for Lumia Leaves, and I believe there was also a purchase using silver at a weekly limit as well. Now, in the beta, the cost was 200 Lumia Leaves, so that is slightly more than 1 pull, and you will have to ask yourself, are these rewards better than having an extra pull for a limited unit? For some of you, you may have a lot and you may say, yes, that is worth it. However, I believe a lot of you will probably have a better time saving up your Lumia Leaves for characters in the game, as you will be obtaining these Challenger Keys on a regular basis. Early on, it may be tempting and it may even seem worth it to you, but that is something that you will have to decide for yourself. Now, I believe that is every single daily and weekly objective that we have currently in Destiny Rising, as well as the couple that we will get in the future. If I have missed anything, please let me know in the comments below. If you are enjoying my guides and coverage of Destiny Rising, I would really appreciate if you subscribe to my channel. There will be more coming in the near future, as well as all throughout this launch period and going forward into the future of Destiny Rising. So if you want to keep up to date on everything, that will be one of the best decisions for you. Again, thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I will see you next time.